Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Vicarage Road, where I can confirm it is as cold as it looks. Absolutely. I've got at least 4 layers on, I think, and it's still pretty cold here this evening. Paddy Davitt is to my left, and we will bring you the Norwich City team news, which is set to arrive in the next couple of minutes or so ahead of tonight's away game at Watford. It's a relatively short one for this. I think is this our second shortest outside Ipswich? I think it probably would be, wouldn't it?
Far off, Connor.
So it's a nice local one, I think. Paddy, how are you? You missed the weekend. You missed so much excitement and action. Yeah,
that's why I'm very well, because I don't think it was the best fare for anybody who was there, unfortunately. Either temperature-wise, where I was about 21 degrees warmer.
Right,
we won't go on about that. Even hotter for Mr. Harvey, but that's another story. And I didn't have to endure one shot on target. But hey-ho, clean sheet win, more of the same, or are we going to add a little bit more entertainment tonight? Time will tell.
Goodness me, I hope so. I really hope so. Some more entertainment would be good, of course. If it could be followed by the same result, that would be even better. As I look to my right, I can see the away end. We're in proximity, pretty close to that. We're inside the right half, and it's just to the right. So we've got a good view of the Norwich City fans, and that's one of the reasons that I like coming here so much, even if results for Norwich City haven't been the best here in recent years, beyond obviously that 3-0 goal or 3-0 win and that Josh Sargent goal that we all recall. What are you expecting, Pad? Just 1 minute or so before the team news. What are you expecting in terms of David Wagner's selection tonight? You spoke to him at Colney yesterday. What was the gist you got from him?
Didn't get a sense of a man who wanted to shake it up too much. There was still a training session to go, so things can change. Ashley Barnes is a factor, I guess. I don't think he can go to the well 3 times. Yeah, no, I think he might start, but how long will he go in terms of, it's asking a lot after the length he's been out, the age he is, having played 90. And David Wagner said candidly yesterday he didn't expect him or want him to go to 90, but needs must on Saturday. So, no, I subject to anything we wasn't availed of in terms of fitness and injuries, then I think it'd be pretty close to the 11 who started on Saturday, Connor. What about yourself?
Yeah, I would agree. And in fact, I think we are just about to find out if we wait. There we go. We do wait. And here it is. It's George Long in goal. Stacey, Bart, Duffy and Yanulis, the back 4. Sarah and McLean, the midfield 2. Fashnakt and Hernandez with Ida and Huang up front. So Ashley Barnes does make it, but he is on the bench. So one change from Saturday's side that beat QPR. I'll just read that for you again. George Long in goal. Stacey, Bart, Duffy and Yanulis, the back 4. Sarah and McLean, the midfield 2. Fashnakt and Hernandez on either flank with Ida in support of Huang Yuzhou. The subs bench, Reyes, Fisher, McCallum, Warner, Gibbs, Springett, Saints, Nunez and Ashley Barnes. So you mentioned Ashley Barnes. He obviously played 90 minutes. I don't think, from what David Wagner said, that was the original plan around Saturday's game, but needs must, I suppose. He does make the bench. What do you make of Adam Ida's inclusion alongside Huang tonight?
Well, probably that is the byproduct of it. If Ashley Barnes isn't, in their considered view, ready to go again from the start, and that would be a bit of a call, given it's not that huge amount of difference in terms of the timescale since Saturday afternoon. So I can see that. But then the counter argument is, if he's fit enough for the bench, then maybe you want his impact from the start. And if he's tired, then you've got Ida in reserve. But he's flipped it and gone the other way. And Adam Ida should be really keen to make an impression, as he did. I thought when he came on against Cardiff. I mean, obviously, as I say, I wasn't there on Saturday, but certainly at Cardiff, he looked almost a different player to me. He looked physically very imposing, and he obviously scored, which we know what he's all about inside the box, that anticipation that he's got, even if some other parts of his game probably needs to develop. But, he looked hungry, looked like keen to prove a point, and by definition, tonight he's got an opportunity to do it. So can't be truthful and say a Fashnakt and Hernandez pairing fills me with a great deal.
Billy. I'm pretty sure he's right. Last time they found was playing for. Not that was their fault.
That was crossing my mind, but I didn't want to say it in the interest of a bit of positivity. Cheers, Bill. But
it's cold enough.
Yeah, but that said, I was about to sort of go on and say Fashnakt and Hernandez. I saw one of the posts early on there about Saints. Is it time for him? I felt it personally. It's been time for him for a number of weeks now, because it suggests something different, something fresh, something ambitious and adventurous. And Fashnakt and Hernandez. It's a strange one, particularly around about the time of the Sunderland Middlesbrough part of that cycle where it was crying out for something different. But on the evidence of A, the performance on Saturday, then B, what David came out and said after the game about what the priority is for the here and now, then you can probably understand why a bit more of a conservative selection in those wide areas to go Fashnacht and Onel to a degree, certainly compared to Borja Sainz, and obviously no Johnny Rowe again tonight. So that's a concern that this is now multiple games that he's been missing. And again, from what David said yesterday, they're no nearer to really getting to the bottom of how they can treat it, how long he's going to be out. So that's a concern, but it is what it is. And tonight, sit on the bench against Sainz with Nunes. Springett's on there, I see. And, really, do we feel there's a huge amount of creativity and attacking threat in a four of Fashnacht, Hernandez, Ida and Hwang? Not for me, but you might have said that on Saturday and they got the job done. So let's see if they can do it again tonight.
Yeah, and I guess the other point to raise is this is a team that had one shot on target at the weekend on Saturday. I think David Wagner said by his own admission, you probably want to see a better balance between what they did, but the emphasis was very much on the defensive aspects. Is it therefore a surprise that he's gone with the same, barring Adam Ida for Ashley Barnes, the same attacking setup?
Well, for me it is because, without wanting to labour the point, what is Borja Sainz got to do to have an opportunity from the start of the game? But clearly, everything that David Wagner has said since Saturday's game tells you quite clearly that they feel the priority is essentially putting the building blocks in place to make them harder to beat. And every selection he's making, it would feel, is with that in mind, that let's stay in the game, let's deny the opposition the opportunities and the chances and the goals that they were coughing up far too easily in that sort of 11-game run. And then from that, as Danny Bart said after Saturday's game, clean sheets breed confidence. Confidence, whether you're a defender or an attacking player, is what you need to express yourself. And David himself said yesterday that particularly in the attacking sense of this debate, you do need confidence. You need to feel confident. And they should be feeling in a better frame of mind now than they were prior to that Cardiff win. So whether it's an incremental thing and he feels that this collection of players who got the result on Saturday, and a lot of them were also the people who got the result against Cardiff, can start to express themselves a bit more with the ball, we'll find out in due course. But it just feels very staid and very one-dimensional, that front four now, and very predictable. And again, an awful lot of onus is on the shoulders of Gabby Zara to inject something and provide something that is a little bit more off the cuff. Cheers, mate. And that, frankly, is going to be good enough to threaten Watford, because I'm not sure, that Watford will look at that lineup and be too fearful that they're going to get hurt in terms of the attacking options that Norwich got on the pitch.
Yes, indeed. I think it's always interesting when you see a team go to turn the tap off at one end or turn it on at the other. You can sometimes lose some of the other aspect that you're trying to I guess, protect to an extent. And you tend to find when teams do go this, of it naturally, because the emphasis is on being a little bit more pragmatic, the goals dry up slightly. But obviously, if you're playing a fairly low percentage game anyway, then you probably only need one. So the challenge will be, I think, if Norwich fall behind, and if they fall behind in this new approach, how adaptable is it to then getting them back into games? Let's bring you the Watford starting 11, because we have that here, and I guess the headline in terms of a Norwich City perspective would be that Jamal Lewis starts for Watford this evening. Ben Hamer in goal. Daniel Bachmann got a red card at Leicester, so he misses this game. Andrews, Porteous, Hurt and Lewis as the back four. Livermore, Kayembe, and one-time Norwich City target Ismail Kone in midfield. Free Aspria, who's a very good player on the right. Sema on the left, and Rajovic up front for them. And they've had a really interesting season, Watford. I think it's technically 3-11 for them, but their recent form has been a little bit more encouraging. Last time here they beat Rotherham 5-0. They ran Leicester pretty close on Saturday. I think they probably just ran out of steam, as most teams do against Leicester. And coming here is incredibly tough. Norwich don't have the best record here. I think it's Watford have won 7 of the last 8 games against Norwich City. You couldn't wait to
get that one out on arrival. That was the first thing you said when we got out of the car. I'm a pessimist that you are. I'm a beacon of positivity. But This is a really good test for Norwich, isn't it, in terms of how this new approach, this new defensive approach, can work against maybe teams who are a little bit better than QPR were on Saturday. Yeah, I'm just looking down some of the names, because David Wagner yesterday talked up their sort of individual quality. Ismail Kone is a very good player at this level, isn't he? Ken Semmer, he's been round the block as well. Jake Livermore, another one, plenty of experience. And Tom Ince, of course, who was heavily linked with Norwich, on the bench for Watford tonight as well. So, yeah, they have been on a good run. I think prior to that, that's their game, at 6 unbeaten. I think they had 4 clean sheets in that. So, to follow on from the debate we're having now in Norwich, Ismail would appear to have got that solid base, and that's given them the confidence to go on a very good positive run, and they certainly needed it too, because they were on a similar downward trajectory to Norwich. So it's interesting what they're trying to do here, and whether it'll be successful this season or whether it's maybe something that's going to take a little while longer, as you could say with Norwich, frankly. But there's no doubt, you come here, much like Norwich, this is a club who are used, maybe more so here for Watford, in terms of Premier League exposure, and they will everything is geared to getting back there again, you feel. So, I think this is an Ishmael. If it's the Ishmael who was at Barnsley, who did wonders to get them in the playoffs, then you would feel that this is a club heading back in the right direction, and that's why really interesting tonight. How did Norwich get on? Because by common consent, QPR, even though it was a new manager and they had a couple of positive results, they are one of the lesser lights in this current championship. I think Watford are a bit better than that. They certainly look to have better individual players, and they will test this defensive robustness that Norwich are trying to construct. And so by the end of tonight, I think we'll have a better idea now of whether that was a little bit of light amidst the gloom, or whether it's back to where we were pre the international break. But really, as the Norwich keepers emerge, and it's worth pointing out, of course, after tonight, with a fair wind, Angus Gunn maybe back in the mix. Not that long then to wait for Grant Hanley, for Josh Sargent. So there is some positivity around the corner for me in terms of the personnel who can be available to strengthen this group. But we'll get on to predictions, but I think if Norwich come here and got a draw tonight, that's not the worst result in the current climate.
No, I agree. And actually, I think you look at the two teams, they're both sides who will be looking at this game as an opportunity to look upwards. Again, you mentioned Watford's form, but Norwich in particular, having been on a really poor run of form prior to that international, the final game before the international break, followed by 2 wins. They'll be hoping that a win here tonight can prove that maybe a corner has been turned, which is something that arguably we haven't been able to say yet after the 2 wins for lots of different reasons, which we got into on the podcast and whatnot. Let us know your predictions as well as we come to ours, and I'll ask Paddy. You said
your dog, Connor?
My dog is very well. Yeah, he's very well. Is he? Okay. He is. Yeah, for left-hand Fred, who was wondering, he's very well. Thank you for asking. So let's hear your best. Completely throw me off that.
That's how good our analysis is. That people are asking about your dog.
It is, yeah. But yeah, there we go. People are flowing through predictions, which I wanted. Paddy, you said a draw would be a good result. Do you see Norwich City leaving with that or better tonight?
Well, like I said, I didn't see QPR, but by all the anecdotal evidence and accounts, it wasn't great. But it was a functional result, and so they are capable of this tonight. But Watford do feel like they're a step up. A draw won't be the worst result, but I don't know. It's hard to look past Watford just edging it, maybe 2-1 for me tonight. You?
I'm gonna go 0-0.
0-0.
Yeah, I think just
another thrill a minute, 90 minutes.
Norwich trying to keep goals out. Watford do a very good job at it. But yeah, I think I'm with you. If I had to pick one to edge it, I think I'd probably lean more towards Watford. So I think I've gone fairly positive with a draw. You said that'd be a good result. I agree with you. Let's see.
Jeff Man 98, 5-2 Watford.
I've seen some quite convincing Watford scorelines in there. To be fair, 3-2 Watford with an Ida double. Billy's gone 4-1-1. Says Jason. Some really interesting results, but really interesting gauge of the mood. There are about 1,300 Norwich City fans here tonight, which is, considering the weather, the fact it's on TV midweek, is a decent effort, and hopefully they get rewarded for their travels. Blinken.com, the place to go. I'll be on the live blog this evening as well, if you fancy coming and join me for a good sort of second screen action, that if you're watching it or not, or first screen, I would suggest as well. And we will see you on the other side. This man will be speaking to David Wagner afterwards. We'll have all the analysis and all the reaction as well from a very, very cold Vicarage Road. We'll see you soon.